I still can't process what happened to me 3 years ago. My stepmother convinced my father to throw me out of the house I grew up in, claiming I was a negative influence on her children. 3 years later, when she tried to use the property as collateral for a loan, she discovered the shocking truth about who really owned it. I'm still reeling from it all. This might sound unbelievable, but I swear it's true. I'm Ethan, 25 now, and I still can't fathom how my own father kicked me out of my childhood home without a second thought, all because of my stepmother's manipulations. And that wasn't the end of it. The real shock came later when I learned I was the actual owner of the house the whole time. You won't believe how it all unfolded. Let me take you back to the start. Growing up, life was good. My dad, James, was my rock. My mom passed away when I was young, and I relied heavily on my dad. When I was 15, he married Clara. At first, I didn't mind. I wasn't overjoyed, but Clara seemed decent enough. She had 2 kids, Emma and Noah, who were a bit younger than me. We didn't exactly bond, but we weren't at odds either. I made an effort to get along. We had our share of conflicts, but that's just family life, isn't it? Over time, though, I started picking up on Clara's quirks. She had a controlling streak, always making sly remarks when no one else was around, especially about how I was too wild or too independent. It felt like I was constantly treading carefully around her. I didn't think much of it at first, just stepmom stuff, trying to figure out how to deal with someone who wasn't her own kid. I wasn't perfect either. I was a teenager with a bit of attitude, but I never imagined it would lead to what happened next. Here's the part that still blows my mind. One evening, I came home from my part-time job, and the house felt off. It was unnaturally quiet. I thought maybe my dad and Clara were upstairs, but then I saw it. My belongings, clothes, books, everything were packed up. I stood there stunned, thinking it had to be a mistake. Then my dad, James, stepped out of the living room. I asked what was happening, and he just told me to leave. No warmth, no reasoning. He simply said, "It's time for you to go." Clara was behind him, her face unreadable, like she was waiting for me to explode. I was at a loss for words. I hadn't done anything wrong, no arrests, no trouble at school. I was just living my life. But my dad, my own dad, was telling me to get out like it was nothing. And Clara just stood there silent. When I pressed for a reason, James said, "You're a bad influence on Emma and Noah. You're causing too much strain here. It's better if you leave." I couldn't believe my ears. A bad influence. What did that even mean? I'd always tried to be kind to Emma and Noah, even though they weren't the easiest to connect with. I figured maybe they didn't like me because I was their mom's stepson, but I'd never hurt them. And I didn't even get a chance to defend myself. My dad just repeated that I needed to pack and go. That was it. No discussion, no hint of what had changed, just leave. So that's how it happened. At 22, I was thrown out of my own home, left to figure out how to survive. No heads up, no conversation, just gone. I'll never forget that moment. My entire world turned upside down in an instant. It was crushing. I had nowhere to turn. I ended up staying with friends, scraping by. All I could think about was my dad. How could he do this? How could he just believe Clara without giving me a chance to speak? It felt like he didn't care anymore. At first, I thought it might be a misunderstanding. Maybe We can't share the full story in this short video. Click the link in the description to watch the complete story. For more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like.